go. I can share, right? I was going to do this real quick.
Go live. Go ahead.
I'm trying to do it.
It's still pre-show time.
Do you see that?
Yeah. See?
Must see adventures. That's what we're kind of going with right now because it's Scott, Elizabeth, Emily. The word
nice.
We're all like each holding our letter, like, and Emily's like unique little.
I like that
drawings that she does. Oh, it's kind of funny.
That is cool.
Yeah. So
hang on. Oh, you disappeared it.
You want me to put it back on?
So I can see it better. I want to make it on the screen real quick. Because I was only seeing it like kind of grayed out. Riley. I like it, dude. That's awesome.
I thought it was kind of good.
That is good. It's really good.
She didn't have a hat on me at first. I'm like, come on. Like, I look weird without a hat sometimes.
Emily kind of looks mad. So is that Emily on the right?
Yeah, that's Emily. I know Emily.
It's kind of like mean. Like,
I know that's how she draws herself, though. I don't know why. I thought the same thing. I like how she put a little hidden Mickey here too.
Oh yeah, and there's a little airplane down there.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Dude, this kind. Wait, now I'm showing all kinds of stuff here. Okay, that's cool though. That's okay. Awesome. I gotta figure out how to get out of this though, so we don't show.
Yeah, stop sharing it.
Cool. I kind of liked how they had us on the little left thing. That's kind of neat.
I didn't even see how it looked on here.
Yeah, we were like, the thing was big, and then we were just like little people on the left there. That's kind of fun.
Okay.
Let's see here. Hello, everybody.
Oh, can I log in?
Oh, Scott just took off. So Scott is on call for work. He is a famous surgeon. Nope, he is a famous banker or person in the finance field, but he got called by his work, and so he may have to take a call for a brief moment. So if he steps out, we will carry on, and he'll be right back. But not a problem. It's the open line. We'll talk. Shout out to Jason over on Facebook. Thanks for being here. Rhonda Lee up in Canada. Greetings. John is also here. Oh my gosh. 2 wins for John. 6 days till the Polynesian and a bigger win. No kids. Bang, bang, boom. Francois, is it too early to submit questions? Put it in the chat if you want and give us a call if you need. Once we get done with the beginning here, just a second.
Sorry, I left there. Like, I wasn't logged in, so I logged in so I could, like, if there's some bad chatting or whatever, I can knock them out.
That's all right. All right. Phone lines we'll open the phone lines here in just 1 second. Lane is here. Hang on, 703. We'll get to you in just a second. Good to know for Long Beach Airport's awesome, Lane. Don't have a lot of tips for it. It's small. There's not a lot of places to eat there, but we can talk about that once we get the show going. What's up, Joe Laszlo? Buc-ee's. Bucky the Beaver. Yes. I'm not a big fan of the Bucky with the little popcorn or whatever they sell there that everybody's crazy about. It's just kind of like cereal. It's not very sweet. All right, we should do the show rolling. All right, let's do this. Let's see.
Some housekeeping though. I might have to go on mute at some point soon. We'll find out though.
Well, I said that. I told everybody.
Cool.
I said he's a famous surgeon or a hitman or something. So if he gets
all I got to do is just send out a mass communication.
That's like I don't know what's going to happen. He might just go. I was like, if he goes, we'll just start taking calls and he'll pop back in.
Just sending out a mass message to like 3,000 people's devices is all. So
laying them off or no?
No, just letting them know, like just letting them know the network might not be
okay. Good. I should have said that, dude. I'm so
that would be awful.
No, dude, I'm so mean. God, I should not. That's why.
Why are you thinking like that, dude? Like
that's all as a teacher. I shouldn't say it. I'm an idiot. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Hit the record button. Then I'm gonna get the house band rolling.
Or the house band at
night, dude.
I wasn't here last Sunday. I was at a jazz concert last Sunday. I missed it.
We're gonna have a jazz concert here in about 5 seconds. Here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, April 21st, 2024. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Sunday night to you. Hope you're having a great weekend. We're ready to take your calls for the next hour, 407-413-9395. 407-413-9395. Wrapping up. Surprise. Well, springtime surprise down at Walt Disney World. So joining me tonight, your friend and mine. He went MIA last weekend for some jazz, and this weekend he may go MIA for a few minutes again. It's your friend and mine, Scotty G. Scott, what's up?
Hey, Mike, happy Sunday. That's not my plan. I plan to be here all the time. I love recording this episode with you, but life happens sometimes. Jazz band concerts happen. There's not too many of those left, but there's a lot of Sundays left where we can talk with our favorite people. But yeah, big shout out to our Be Our Guest Lizards. Great crew out there. I was following along. Love seeing the finish line, medals, the photos, everything. You all crushed. I know it was hot, but you all did a
smoking this weekend.
Smoking hot. You all did a great job. I loved watching here from home. Wish I would have been there. I know Mike feels the same way, but it can't make every race weekend. But man, it was fun watching you guys close out the Run Disney calendar, because like that's the end of the calendar, Mike. It's going to start up at Disneyland next in September.
No. Oh yeah. Well, you're right. I forgot about that. They got the
Halloween one. I think that'll start up the next season. But you want to hear something really sad? It's not super sad, but as of like today, I'm no longer a Walt Disney World pass holder. Our pass is expired yesterday, but no worries. We'll be getting back on the pass train. It's just we're not going to Walt Disney World this summer, and like you feel me on this, right, Mike? Like, why renew and like just waste it for 6 months, right? I'd rather just like start it back up when I'm ready to go back again. So yeah, it's just crazy to think, though, I'm not a pass holder. This is the first time since like 2013, over 10 years, I haven't been a pass holder. Feels kind of weird.
I'm in the same boat. Mine expires, I believe, at the beginning of May, and we're not using it this summer because we're just doing the cruise.
I know and you can always go down, right? And then you can just decide, all right, now I'm going to become a pass holder. You're just losing the renewal rate, basically, right. Like. And then, I mean, I don't think it's that much of a savings where it's worth it to take a couple months off. I personally think, but
I've always kept one because every once in a while we get like thrown a media event or something. Cause like the summer we might get some with Tiana's, but the thing is with media events, I mean, there's a little behind the scenes, they give you tickets. I mean, so you don't really, I always told myself I need to keep it for a media event, but in the reality, they give you tickets for the media event. So you don't need it.
And my biggest concern was, will I be able to buy one? Because remember a couple of years ago, you're playing with fire if you let yours lapse. Right. I know our buddy Wade is in here, and he can tell a lot of stories about that. I know a lot of our listeners can, but I'm confident enough, knock on wood, that when we go down next, which is probably going to be Thanksgiving, I can get an annual pass then. But we'll see. But man, I just can't believe I put that out in the universe, Mike. Like, why did I do that?
You did, and it's a different boat for you at this point, because like I don't buy them for my whole family. I used to buy 4 at a shot, like you did. Now I'm buying 1 because the girls don't typically go, and so it's a lot different, but
yeah, we're buying 3, so that's tough. Yeah,
I still may renew though, just because I just but again, it's hard too, because if I'm not going to use it, it just doesn't make financials. That's a good question. Maybe we could talk about that.
We can talk like, what's your limit? Like, I'm looking at November, so I'm talking like 6 months. Like, I don't think it's worth to just have a pass sit idle. Now, if I renew, then we always talk about it burns a hole in your pocket, right? I'd probably
find a reason to go.
I'd probably make a summer trip to see like Tiana, or whatever, and who knows? I still might, I still might buy a pass for them. But like, yeah, what is your tipping point for where you just let it lapse and then purchase a new one?
All right. The phone number is 407-413-9395. This is the show where we turn it over to you, the listeners, and we have a first call on the line. So let's go ahead and open up those phone lines. Hey, who's joining us tonight?
Hello, it's Sam, aka Dawson Rose Dawson.
Hey, Dawson Rose Dawson, who sent some great pictures from 3 Bridges earlier this week, I think, right?
Yes, I was at 3 Bridges for the first time ever. It was great.
Oh man, you were winning at life that day. I was having I think a peanut butter sandwich, and you were eating 3 Bridges, killing me.
It's not fair.
I know, it was a last minute trip, so it was very exciting to get down there for just like a 3-day weekend.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. So, did you enjoy Coronado Springs when you were over there?
Yeah, we stayed at the tower once during a race weekend. I want to say Princess 2020, right before COVID. But yeah, we went back. We got to go up to the top and get a drink, and yeah, it was
awesome. So what's on your mind? Thanks for calling in tonight.
I had a funny story because we usually go to Springs on like go night usually and get walk around and shop, but this weekend we wound up going to Disney Springs early in the day, and we were the first group of people to go into World of Disney. And I didn't know if anyone knew this, but when you are the first group to go in, they roll out a red carpet and they they put the bubbles, they're playing, they're like clapping for you, they're cheering, they're blowing bubbles at you, they're throwing glitter and confetti and red carpet. So I was like, if anyone wants to go do that, it was really fun and exciting and very random and unexpected.
Scott, I hope my girls are not listening.
I hope they are listening.
Before we went on the air, Scott and I were talking because he's this world famous vlogger now with his shopping vlog from the I don't know if you saw the Say Yes to the Dress thing Scott did and with his daughter, the prom dress thing. Did you see that?
No one needs to see that.
You got to see this anyway. He did this vlog, okay, about M picking out her prom dress, and he went to all these malls. And I said, Scott,
yeah, I did watch that.
Okay, I watched that. Right. And I said, Scott, that's my worst nightmare because I hate shopping. So if my daughters and wife see this, they'll be like, oh, that's cool. And all of a sudden, I'll have to go to Disney Springs.
Mike, it is cool, and you're going to be at Disney Springs before you cruise, so this is the perfect thing to do.
Dude, I do not want to. We're going to go to the drone show. I do not want to be there at like 11 o'clock in the morning at World of Disney. But that's a great thing.
Sam, I think that's a cool moment.
$200 and they're cheering on you to spend money, basically.
Absolutely, I'll come out with. I mean, I do like the hats. I get a hat, maybe a ring or tee. That's about my limit.
Yeah. Oh, I spent way too much money, but I did get applauded for it, so it felt worth it.
I guess
so cool. I think
that is cool. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And so they
and I'm also sorry, I was cutting out. I couldn't hear you that
well. No, go ahead. No, continue.
No, I was gonna say I'm also here with my boyfriend who is a big Disney fan himself, and he won the American Idol experience back in the day. So we have a celebrity over here with us.
So he got one of those like front of the line passes to a location. Is that true? Like near him, he got to go to the front of the line?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mike.
Hey, Mike.
So yeah, in 2011, my family and I went down there, and I hadn't even known that the American Idol experience was a thing. But when we went to Hollywood Studios, I was like, oh wow, that'd be really cool to audition. Flash forward about 8 hours, I did not get to experience the park at all. And but it was a really cool experience. There was preliminary rounds. There was about 5. And then there was a finale show where the top 5 from the preliminary rounds competed. And then, yeah, I had I won the whole thing. I got a golden ticket to the front of the line for an American Idol audition. So I went to East Rutherford, New Jersey. I was about the 7th person to sing and about the 7th person to be told, no thanks, have a good day.
Still. I mean, was there anybody? Did you sing in front of anybody famous, like at the place in New Jersey,
so
like Simon or anybody?
That's another thing. A lot of people were like, "Oh, did you see Simon and Randy?" And no, you're in an arena with about 20,000 people. There's 15 tables on the floor of the arena with the quote unquote producers. And yeah, you go in about groups of 5. You get about 20 to 30 seconds to sing. And then at the end of everybody singing, they'll call, let's say 2 people forward, and those people will go forward. And then the 3 people that weren't called forward are just done. So I'd auditioned for American Idol the year before. So it saved me about 10 hours of waiting in a seat to be told no. But
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, Mike, I could just tell, Mike, that you got some good chops there. Too. Like, you sound like you're a great singer. Yeah.
He's got the chords. So I got to ask,
if only you guys were on the floor of the arena, I'd have a different career.
We'd have been bringing down the house for you, man. Because I'll tell you what, my family, because we used to love that show. We love Frozen Ever After. We love like the live shows at Disney in general. But we used to sit out though, because like the last show of the day was always the best, right? Because it was always the winners. So you would come back.
Yeah, that was.
We would in a lot of times too. Like we would go to a show earlier in the day. And then I don't know why, but like we'd always come back because we'd want to cheer on like our winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if we were there for like the 11 o'clock show, we'd come back. Like we had some kind of attachment to this person. We didn't meet him, but like we wanted to like be there for like our lady that won.
Get a celebration button with their name on it. Exactly. Like I'm celebrating Mike.
We're cheering on Kelly, so she can win at 7 o'clock, but we went back and had this. It was a neat thing. I liked it.
Yeah, very cool. I came out of the theater and, like you had said, I was signing Spartans like I was an actual celebrity. And there was a group of, I must have been like a choir on trip or something, and they all stayed after. And I ended up going to, at that time, downtown Disney with them, and they bought me dinner. There was a group of like 14 of them from Virginia, and they were like, "We love you. You're the best." I haven't seen any of them.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody reaches out. Nobody.
That's incredible.
You got the American Idol experience, at least for one day.
Yeah, it really was the experience.
It was truly an experience. A whole day experience.
What we got to ask? What was
have the ticket somewhere?
What was your go-to song? What was the song?
So it was. You had about, I want to say it was maybe like 40 songs off of an iPod. So this is, again, I just keep dating myself. So yeah, off of an iPod, and I ended up singing "Walking in Memphis."
Oh, nice!
That's a good song.
Like an abridged version, about 1 minute and 30 seconds. You know,
I got to watch a video on Christmas with his family of him doing it.
Oh man, that's an emotional one. That kind of with my feet and my something on Beale. I can't even remember the words. Oh my god, such a good song though.
It is a good song.
Man, that's an emotional one. Good stuff. Well, what a story to kick off the show tonight, man. I hope it gets better.
Yeah,
I can't imagine getting better.
That's great. With you guys.
I mean, Sam, Mike, if we see you at Disney, I'll make that 2 free meals for you all. Like,
I'll kick in with you, Scotty G. We're gonna do meal with Dawson Rose Dawson and Rockstar Mike.
There we go.
Yes, I'm trying to get him into Run Disney. So hopefully I see you guys down there. Then we're going to hold you to that dinner.
Yes.
Carb-loading dinner.
Hey,
I'm all for it.
Be careful, man. It started with a 5K, and all of a sudden I can't hardly walk around my house anymore because I've been running all these races. My knees creak like popcorn.
I'm going to bring a balloon myself and be one of those ladies because I don't know if I'll be able to make it to the end. Might as well just join their crew.
Mike's a smart guy. Look at this guy. He's a genius. You're exactly right. You know before you even got in. You know what's going on. Hey, thanks for the great call. Exactly. And thanks to Greg. It looks like Sky G is going to be taking care of something real quick. But thank you guys for the call, and keep having fun. And don't be strangers, man. Give us a call back anytime.
Yeah, we'll definitely call back again. Thanks, guys.
All right, take care. So good to talk to you. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty, 407-413-9395. Who knew we have American Idol winners among us? They got the golden ticket. Not to Willy Wonka, but to East Rutherford, New Jersey. All right, we have our next call. Hey, who's joining us? Hello, caller. Oh, let's see. That caller drops. Let's go to this caller. We have our next caller. Hey, who's joining us?
Hi, Mike. It's Ashley in New Jersey. How are you?
It's great. I'm doing well. How are you doing? We just had an American Idol Experience winner that headed up your way to East Rutherford, New Jersey, he said.
Oh, that's really close to me. How fun.
I know. Look at that. He was tried out for American Idol up there.
Oh, love that. That's awesome.
So what's on your mind tonight?
So my husband and I are used to doing adult-only trips, which I know is kind of probably not the norm for a lot of people. Now we have a 1-year-old, and we're going for our first trip as a family for Memorial Day weekend. And I need some tips for going with a toddler. We've never done it before.
Ooh, tips for going with a toddler.
Pro tips. I need it all.
So you're talking to the two guys that now have daughters that are driving cars at this point.
Think way
for our
back.
Youngest. We are old dudes. No, because we did have toddlers. And I took Mallory for the very first time when she was 6 months old. How old was
really? That's awesome.
Yeah, Scott, how old was
she was 3. It was our first trip was in 2011, so like 3.5, somewhere in there. So yeah.
I always say at these ages, toddlers and infants, whatever age it is, it's for us, right? It's not for them. But I want that memory of us taking her as a 1-year-old for her first Disney trip. So we're so excited. But we only know just going as an adult only trip. So we really don't know where to start.
So I'll give you one of my biggest tips. And I've said this on the show for years. I got a high quality umbrella stroller. And if you've listened to the show for any length of time, I'm kind of cheap, right? And you can go super cheap on umbrella strollers. I bought a $200 umbrella stroller. It was called a McLaren. We use that sucker forever, and it just worked great because it was because I researched this thing more than I researched the car we bought. And this was back in the time. I was wondering
if I should rent a stroller or bring ours. That was another thing I was wondering about.
Bring it.
You're
going to use it at the airport. You're going to use it because if you rent one, it's just, it's a known quantity if you have something good, and plus you'll use it. You're always going to use it. It's your thing. And like with this McLaren thing, I mean, we used it at home all the time, right? For soccer games when her older sister played and stuff. But at Walt Disney World, it was just, it folded up perfectly for the buses, for the monorails, for the boats.
Yeah, that's gonna be
and it was collapsible with one hand. It had a cover for rain. So if it rained, like we could cover her up immediately. She didn't get wet. We got drowned. She was perfectly dry. Wasn't fair. But had like little storage compartments, but it was super just compact and road smooth. And I mean, we used this thing for years and years. I mean, probably 20 different trips, and it paid for itself over the long term. So high quality stroller.
Travel stroller. I think similar to that one. So I was thinking of bringing it, but then I'm like, oh, well, what if it gets lost in the shuffle of strollers and the stroller parking area? So I wasn't sure, but that's a really good point.
People say, this is going to sound kind of bad, tie a bag to the handle that kind of looks like it has a dirty diaper in it. Now, don't put a dirty diaper in it. Nobody will steal your stroller. I mean, they say that. I mean, just trick them. Okay, Scott, what do you have?
Mike, you kind of took mine.
That's why I called.
So the stroller was a huge thing. Yeah, the stroller was a huge thing for us. And like, I still love to this day, like being in line for a bus and watching parents struggle to like fold these like massive strollers.
I feel terrible, but like that's how you learn, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a new dad right there.
And I'm just thinking because I read a lot of like books before our first trip. I wasn't into like podcasts or anything yet. So I read a lot of like going to Disney with kids kind of books, like dining with kids. And that's where I learned about the stroller. I was like, oh, Liz, we better get a stroller, but like, I don't want to get this massive thing where you're going to slow up a bus line or whatever. Like, I just wanted one smooth transition where it just like folded together, boom, and you're on the bus. Yeah. So that was like, that was my biggest thing.
Feature, so I'm thinking that bringing it's going to be the way to go. I was kind of going back and forth on that, but that's a good call.
And it's easy. Are you flying or
We're flying. Yeah. Another thing I'm a little anxious about. I flew with her once, but she was an infant. But now she's a moving, grooving toddler, walking all over the place. So it's gonna be a challenge. But there's gonna be a ton of kids on the flight, right? We're going to Orlando.
There'll be all kinds of kids.
And there's gonna be like 15 strollers being checked at the gate too. Yeah, so like, they're all gonna be familiar with that too.
I'm saying, Lewis, it's like it's like a school bus going down to Orlando.
I'd say the umbrella stroller comes in so handy now. Mike was saying it now for just Walt Disney World, like. We loved when Emily was younger going to zoos in our state. So we would use it for when we went to zoos or walks in the park, whatever. Like, I mean, we beat that baby up, that stroller. But I tell you what, like we got our money's worth so much out of it. It was
out of it. That's great.
That's actually good practice to go to the zoo too. Like if you want to get them kind of accustomed to like the routine of going around like a theme park, like go to a zoo, because that's kind of similar to the layout of a theme park. Yeah. Also, one of the things, we got some great tips coming in over on Instagram, and these are good ones. Make sure you buy Memory Maker because you're going to want to get all the images and get them from with the whole family. Idea. That's money well spent. That's a great one from our friend, one of my great guests, Matt, over on Instagram. And don't take everything. Buy stuff when you get there. Guess what? Florida has the exact same stuff as New Jersey. So like all the stuff you got to buy, like have groceries delivered to your room, the diapers or whatever. I don't know what like stuff you need like that, but all the consumables, just have, Amazon delivery, Garden Grocer, whatever, just have it delivered.
One thing I wish I would have done is gotten like Emily mouse ears, like those little infant or like those smaller, like youth size mouse ears with their name engraved on it. Like, that was a fail. I would have wish I would have done that and gotten like some cool castle photos or whatever like that. Like I look back at our photos of that first trip, and there's things I wish I would have done a little bit differently. But one cool thing, because we did this, so we took a photo of her like in front of Soarin', just try to find something that doesn't change. Like the castle obviously doesn't change, but try to find something cool that doesn't change at Walt Disney World that you don't think will, and take a photo, and then you can like have a growth chart of like all the years of her growing next to that item. Like we did that with like the Soarin' sign. I think we did it with the Seas with Nemo's, and it's just fun to look back at like her growing through the years on our trips.
I wish we had done that too. That'd have been a good thing. You got to do that early though. Like you can't just do that once they're 15.
Exactly. Luckily, like I have a couple good ones on our first two trips. Yeah. So
go ahead.
Do you think character dining is a good thing at this age, or should I maybe just do more meet and greets in the park? What do you think? Because I want to get those photos, and I'm wondering what would be best for a 1-year-old.
Here's what I think. Okay, so we're having this big discussion over. Well, actually, it went really fast, so it happened today. I was noticing it on our dining channel on our Discord over in the clubhouse, and I saw that some of our. Well, I mean, of course, some of our guests are from overseas. Like I was noticing Julie from Scotland was talking. We have another guest from Scotland, and some other people were talking.
Mm-hmm.
They did 9 character meals on their last trip. 9 character meals on one trip, and I was like, "Whoa, I haven't done 9 in a year." Like, but what I would say is I would do like 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, do like 2, and then sprinkle in the character meet and greets in the park. So don't go crazy with them. But I would do like 1 or 2 because they're a treat. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to spend a ton of money on them, but I would definitely do at least 1 or 2.
For sure.
I would say at least 1 or 2.
Which one is at top of your list? What do you think?
Here's what I would say. I'm not going to take Scott's because I know what Scott's going to say. Here, so everybody would say probably like I prefer Akershus over Cinderella's Royal Table. It's cheaper.
Interesting choice. I like it.
It's easier to get the ADR. It's not as expensive. You get 5 princesses come to your table. The food's a little weird, but guess what? Your kid's not going to like the food at either place. Kids aren't there for the food. My kid never liked the food either place. And inside of Akershus is really awesome looking. It doesn't look like as much outside. It's super cool inside. And it's a little bit, it's less expensive, and you're not having to like, have a nightmare trying to get the ADR. You can probably get it. So I would say Akershus, give it a shot.
Definitely agree with the character dining because we did.
That's a really good suggestion.
Yeah, because I think we did 6 character meals on our first trip, and not quite 9, but because that was what we were all about. And plus, I had the deluxe dining plan back then. I mean, that was like, we had to be eating to give our value out of it. So we did a lot of character dining. So it depends on what characters like they're seeing on TV. Mike knows I'm going to say Crystal Palace because like I love that character meal. But if your child is seeing more like Disney, like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse stuff, like maybe like a Mickey Mouse like kind of character meal might be the best one. So I'm thinking like a Chef Mickey's could be really cool because that could be like the characters they've seen on TV and such. So I don't think you can go wrong. I love Akershus. I think that's a great idea, but I think I might do like Chef Mickey, something with like the Fab 5 really.
Yep. Good point.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to look for. That or the princesses is probably a great idea. Is Crystal Palace Woody the Pooh? Is that right?
Yes. Which a 1-year-old might have seen some Winnie the Pooh. I personally like it because my mom like loved Tigger, so like makes me think of my mom when I go there. Plus, I think the food is just so good at Crystal Palace, and I love the Winnie the Pooh characters. And that's like really one of the only places you can see them, so that's why I like Crystal Palace a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be fun because we're so used to doing different things. Like we'll go to Epcot and eat and drink around the world, and obviously it's going to be a way different trip. So I'm excited to do things I've never done before or haven't done since I was a kid. So it's going to be a really a good time.
Do you have the Disney Chase Visa by chance?
No, I don't.
Okay,
Should I be looking into that?
No, I was just going to throw that because if you're at Epcot, they have a cool like a really short line usually for like a character meet and greet. It's usually Mickey Mouse like at Epcot for those Visa Chase holders. So I was going to just throw that out there. If you have it, that would be a great character meet and greet, I think, for you to have. But you can still find Mickey all over the resort for sure.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm on the app right now, Mike. And Akershus has a ton of availability.
I'm telling you, it's the thing is, you're probably going to go back, and not to say you can't do Cinderella's Royal Table down the line. And that's kind of everybody's like dream, right? To have a meal in the castle at some point. But Akershus is a great experience.
I love the breakfast there too. The breakfast is my meal.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I prefer that. I've done both multiple times, and I prefer Akershus myself over. I mean, there's a majesty of eating in Cinderella Castle. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, but it's super expensive.
It depends on the meal for me. So if it's breakfast, I want Norway. If it's dinner, I'd rather do Royal Table because the dinner in Norway is like not my favorite offerings, I will say.
I would definitely go with Akershus. It's a great experience. You will not regret it. You'll be wild. 5 princesses coming around and a good breakfast. And then you're in Epcot and you can go and you can meet a ton of characters. You're in World Showcase.
Great idea. One more question is going back to what you said before. When you get things delivered, do they deliver it to the front desk? Like if I did an Amazon order for diapers, where do I pick those up?
Bell Services. So like say you're staying at Pop Century, to go to Bell Services, you'll just call down there. They can bring them to your room. You'll tip the bellhop. You'll be set.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, that's great. Great tips. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go check out the chat and see what everyone else is saying.
There's so much. Yeah. So just watch the video. Just go to I don't know if people know, but I mean we have a YouTube channel. It's just Be Our Guest It's youtube.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. So you can always check out the videos and all the comments. We put them on the screen here. They're below, and we put them in the Discord channel. We have a little channel for all the videos. So yeah, they're all here, and we've got so many good comments going right by.
Mike, do you have a good diaper story for Ashley? Because I do. Since he was just talking about diapers, do you have any good like?
I gag sometimes, so I might have to mute you. But go ahead, you can share with everybody else.
No, my favorite is like, so our daughter was a tall 3-year-old, so she was able to do test track on our first trip as a 3-year-old.
Oh, wow.
So we're in line for this is the 1.0 version. This is the only time I rode the original test track, mind you, because it went under refurb the next year, and we're standing in line and we're like, kind of smelling something,
Yeah, I'm out.
And we're so close. We're so close to the finish, and like people around us can tell, and we're like, "What do we do?" Like we want to do the ride, but like, do we get out of line? So like we went up to this cast member, and Liz explained the situation, and we happened to be right next to this like secret door. So like I don't know, like I still try to look for it when I'm in the current version of Test Track, and I don't think I've ever seen this door again, but. There was like this cast member door. Liz just went out, boom, fixed the blowout that happened and came right back in. So we got to hold our place in line while Liz took care of it on like the secret location. Even Liz doesn't even know where the heck she went. But it was just
door. It's a diaper door.
Yes, it's the blowout door.
The blowout. It was the blowout door.
Good year.
But so, I mean, that's so.
I'll have to give you guys a call after we go, and I can give you a trip report.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's going to be interesting. It's going to be.
I'm just going to tell you, be prepared for something like that to happen in line. So just like always have like the diaper bag with you.
Have 3 spares in the back pocket.
Yeah.
At all times in the umbrella stroller.
Yes. Have a great time. First trips are the bomb. And yeah, you know what? It's going to force you to slow down, but that could be the best trip ever. Really, it will be. Have fun.
That's what I'm excited about. I'm really looking forward to going a bit slower, taking a lot of breaks, and just looking around and seeing everything. Probably things I've never even noticed before. It's going to be awesome.
100%. That's going to happen. Hey, thanks for the call, and I hope you guys have the best time ever. Get all those pictures.
I'll definitely give you a shout after we go. Catch up soon.
All right. Take care up in New Jersey. Thanks for the call tonight. We appreciate it.
Bye,
all right.
Bye. I mean, you got to have that diaper bag. Like I was just thinking about that. I mean, it's an important tip. You park the umbrella stroller off, you go into a line. What if you leave the diaper bag in the stroller and something happens?
I know. Hey, right now at Walt Disney World, we talked about this on Friday. That probably is happening to some poor.
Well, I have not listened to that episode yet.
That's what we call hands-on learning. And
right now, someone is getting their check for a meal, and they're like, "Oh,
yeah, exactly." I mean, that's kind of how that works. All right, 407-413-9395.
I'm good with work, by the way. So, boom, no worries.
407-413-9395. Thank you for all the great tips in the chat. We have so many. Let's see. Maureen said, "Character breakfast, best way to start the day when they're not tired for the characters." Yeah, that's an absolute memory maker. That's a great tip because at the end of the day, they're going to be cranky with everybody, including the characters. So maybe a character breakfast is the way to go. And Carolyn, who's always in here with great tips, she also says character dining is better for you and way better than waiting in line. If you can afford it, do it. That's a good idea. Let's see.
There's just weird photos sometimes. That's the one thing about character dining, because like, depending on how you frame your photo, you might have like food on the table. Like that is always kind of, I always try to like turn my family around so that we don't have like the meal on the table. You know what I'm saying, Mike?
Well, I think too, that's if you get the opportunity, you got, again, I think it helps to be like a Disney veteran, right? And not everybody is, because you got to have experience, but like when you have done enough character meals, like the rotation, the characters are coming in. So you kind of keep your head on a swivel. Ideally, you want to stand up and get your picture with the characters standing up. You don't want to have them come like behind you at the tip, because then you get all like ketchup bottles and like half-eaten Mickey waffles, and it looks a mess. But if you can stand up, you can avoid all that. Like it looks like a normal picture. You're right. I mean, sometimes it's a mess.
Yeah. But sometimes it's funny, like for me, like sometimes like if we already like done a full cycle, so then like, well, all right, we don't really need to get up for another photo. I love it when they come from behind me on my chair, and I just take a selfie of them. Like then you don't see like anything. Those are actually some of my favorite.
Those are good photos. Those are good ones. All right, 407-413-9395. You want to share a right now at Walt Disney World? Like, I just saw one of those commercials 10 seconds ago on my TV because the TV's on here in the studio. It said 3:36 p.m. It showed the Dapper Dans doing that. What's that thing they shake in their hands like that?
Those little like bells, tubular bells,
or bells thing, singing on Main Street USA. Oh,
yeah.
A commercial gets me every time. All right, so let's see here. Matt says we got free pants for our 1-year-old because he had a blowout at the Festival of Lion King.
Sometimes you get some free
clothes. Now we're talking about getting free merch because of all this. Oh my gosh. Jennifer also is recommending Topolino's for breakfast. That's a good one. Try to go back through all the comments here.
That is like, for food wise, that is the best character meal. That meal is so good at breakfast there.
You're going to earn that one though. That's another tough ADR there.
Yeah, sometimes though, like, not that I like to give this tip, but like but like we're a secret club here, right? So like we don't share our stories with everyone else. But like a day before, you can usually find that a day before.
I think what it is Disney fans were antsy. We don't like to wait that long. Like if we don't get it at 60, we start to freak out.
That's true. There's some though, like I have a theory, but I think we're going to do a trip report still, Mike.
We're recording. This is the Mike and Scott week, right? We're recording tomorrow. We're going to do the listener questions and your trip.
Is it just you and me? Are the ladies out this week?
They're out, both of them. It's just me and you. It's a Mike and Scott week. All week.
It's starting right now. Look at that.
Right now, dude. This is it.
But so I'll talk about a theory I have about Hoop-de-Doo and ADRs. Well, I'll tease it for the trip report, but I have a theory on how you can get a good seat.
Okay, good. Because you were practically in the show.
I was in the show. Like that. I was.
I mean,
the characters were flirting with me, you know.
I was gonna say, like, you were practically in the union. Like you almost got a check.
Yeah, I mean, me and the piano, like we could have been dueling pianos. I could have like helped play like the low keys. You know, I was sitting right there.
All right, so Francois, we got some questions in here real quick. He says, which All-Star resort has the best pool? So the thing is about the All-Stars, actually the values in general is they're all kind of just, I mean, I shouldn't say just pools, but they don't have slides. So you can't really compare like what slide's better. They don't have slides. It's kind of like the value thing. They're just kind of shaped. They just have a different shape based on the theme. Now, the one I've always liked the most, just because of what I like.
Oh no, you're gonna take mine.
It's the baseball field pool,
the home run pool. Yes,
yeah, I love that one because it's got like a backstop.
Goofy's on the pitcher's mound. There's a pitcher mound. Yeah,
right. You're right, and it almost kind of looks like either like Wrigley Field or kind of like Fenway. It's got like an old scoreboard around it. Like that's probably. But I mean, it just depends on what you like.
I like that pool. I think there's like a Calypso pool or something. It's like one of the main pools at one of them. Where like I think the Three Caballeros are there or something like. I have just had this small vision. I haven't stayed at the All-Stars very often, but I do like that pool as well. They're all very similar, right? They're kind of similar to Pop, like the Hippy Dippy pool. I think it's very similar to like that main pool at the All-Stars, and I like them. I think they're really enjoyable.
I agree. And let's see here. I'm trying to hit some of these comments. We got Chris says right now at Walt Disney World. He's jumping in with one of these here on Facebook as we're recording the show. There is someone that just got on the Skyliner for the very first time. And they're headed to Epcot for dinner.
Man, I wonder where they're heading. I feel like they're going to Rose and Crown for dinner.
I think they're headed to Beer Garden.
Okay. A place I've never been to.
I know. And okay, we got our next caller on the line, but you got to listen to the Monday podcast, which comes out in less than an hour. We talked to Simon from the UK. It's the longest trip report we've had on a Monday show in years because this guy was awesome.
I gotta say, is Simon like not the most like UK name there is though?
It is. And dude, he works on a cruise ship as an entertainer sometimes. Cool. And he has a story about Beer Garden and unexpectedly getting called for Guardians of the Galaxy Lightning Lane.
Okay.
Just saying, that's why the show went so long. And his kids' names are Sully and Sid. I'm just saying. It's a teaser. Monday show is awesome.
Okay. They're all awesome, though.
They are awesome. I'll tell you this one, I could not stop. And he was recording this thing at 2:00 in the morning, his time. I'm just saying, it was 2:00 in the morning in the UK when we were recording. It was wild. It was BOGP After Dark. All right, we have our next call. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Scott. This is John from Massachusetts. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing
great. John, how's it going, buddy?
How you been?
Doing well. Yeah, we're great. We just got back from a California trip and we ended it with 3 years at Disney. 3 years. That would have been wonderful. 3 days at Disneyland.
3 years. I know you're adjusting back to the time change up. You're probably a little tired, but yeah, I've loved following along, and I would love to hear some highlights from that trip for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I said, my brain is scrambled right now. The time change, and we went pretty hard the entire week. You know, we did San Diego first. We did, there's some other amusement park people know out that way too. We did. The 3 days at Disneyland were amazing though. It was so familiar. It was so much like World, but so different at the same time. We just had an amazing time. We fit in so much, the tips you guys have given about the Genie Plus out there. It made everything different. And, we've been to Disney World a bunch of times. The first trip, you're always like, go, go, go. And then you chill out. We were probably like your third or fourth Disney World trip. I was very go, go, go. We had our list of like, we got to do this, got to do that. But we spent time with the petrified tree. We found the little man.
Yes.
We were lucky enough to do the Main Street tour, which was amazing. Seeing Walt's apartment, like so many awesome experiences.
I got to give you a shout out for seeing the petrified tree on this trip.
My favorite thing.
That is the best. I mean, you are a true Disneyland aficionado at this point.
We are official citizens or honorary citizens now.
Oh,
we did get those pins. So.
Oh my gosh!
So what was your initial thought on Radiator Springs, that land, Cars Land there?
That was amazing. That was where we started our second day. The first day, and it was like you were walking in the movie. It was incredible, and the tip that you guys have given about going at night as well. We went first thing in the morning. We did our light. We walked on pretty well. 35 minutes, I'd consider walk on for that.
That's pretty good.
And then we had our lightning lane. But then we went back the next night, and that was just a different level of really cool.
Yeah. Mike shared this photo the other day of him and I like on Luigi's at night, and like even that like it's completely different night and day. Like I love them both at both times a day, but like that is just straight up fun that I think people like pass on a lot. I hope you got the opportunity to try that too, John.
Yeah, I think those two other rides, I think a lot of people overlook, and we made it a point to do them because it was like, well, it's the same as Alien Swirling Saucers. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, it's better. I hate to say it, but it is
better.
Yeah, I mean, World is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but there's just, I don't know what it is. It just feels like more cohesive in Cars Land. Like you said, it's exactly like you're in Radiator Springs the entire time that you're in that land. Like you never leave the movie, where when you're in Toy Story Land, like you're not in the movie, you're in like an environment, right? You're like, oh, Alien Swirling Saucers feels kind of like this could be like a piece from a Toy Story movie, but you're not in like the movie. You kind of see what I'm saying? But like when I'm in Radiator Springs, man, I feel like I'm in the movie, or like in the video. I have a video game for the old PlayStation 2, and I felt like I was just in that. Like I could have been a part of that game the whole time I was in there.
Yeah. The entire thing, all of it was awesome. And pivoting to Avengers Campus, where we spent a ton of time. My teenage daughter will probably not hear this, so it's okay to say she, when we went, she was 7. She had the same look meeting Captain Marvel and Black Widow she did when she was 7 meeting Jasmine. Like, it was like, yes, I know it's just a cast member and a character. It didn't matter. She was just like totally excited to meet them. And still being able to have those moments is awesome. It's just so cool. It was neat. It was neat having those new experiences in yet that familiar environment.
That's exactly what I've always tried to tell people. Again, I've only been 3 times, right? My first time was in 22 with Scott's family. Went out there over the 4th of July for a week, and people always ask me now, like, how do you describe it as somebody who goes to Walt Disney World way, way, way more than you've ever been to Disneyland? And I just say it's comfortable because I have an experience with how the Disney parks work and how, Disney, I've done Disney parks so many times, But to me, what I have felt when I go to Disneyland is it just feels a little bit easier because you're taking a lot of variables out of the situation. One is when I go to Disneyland, I do always have the park hopper, which I always have at Walt Disney World too. But there's only 2 parks. So if you're park hopping, there's no variable. Like if you're park hopping, it's the other park. You don't have to think about where you're park hopping. It's the only other option. And I always have Genie Plus, which means you always are, there's always a selection to choose where you can almost immediately get on another attraction because the density of the attractions, everything is so close there because people are like, well, the resort's not very big. Well, that's an advantage because everything is so close. You're always finding something to do. And, I haven't done everything out there a million times either, which is a plus in my case. So that works too.
Yeah, we couldn't even use all of the Genie Plus that we ended up getting just because we kept on knocking them off. At World, my strategy would be, all right, let's use that for the longer waits. At Disneyland, our strategy was more, use it for the big thing. We got Indiana Jones first, knock that out. Hyperspace Mountain, knock that out. And then it just falls like dominoes. It was crazy how much we were able to get done with that.
Kevin's asking in the live chat, and good question. Like, did you have any remarkable meals or snacks, something like for the food? What did you enjoy out that way?
I liked most everything we got. One that surprised me, Joe Fickas had mentioned that if you wanted the World of Color dining package, that a good place to go was at the Grand Californian, the buffet. I am blanking on the name.
Storytellers.
Yep. Storytellers Cafe.
Yeah. And that was wicked good. And I was surprised because I don't tend to be a buffet person, but the food there was good. And I was surprised by that.
I love that you said wicked good too.
Yeah, me too. I feel like I'm at a Red Sox game.
Yeah.
I don't even think about that one anymore. We say that. But yeah, the one thing about snacks that we realized is at World, I don't think so much about that because you can usually just get whatever you want. There with all the locals, there would sometimes be that snack looks really good. And we'd go over where they sold it, and your choice was the 20-minute wait or a 40-minute online order ahead, which we've never really hit that at World. Mm-hmm. But there were a couple snacks where it was like, oh, well, I guess we won't get that, but we've got the next one. The next one is really good too. But yeah, that's the only thing I wish we'd done more research into the treats as well to optimize that better. But I'm very much the type A planner when it comes to the trips. Even in World now, I still kind of like want that framework of a plan you can work off of.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was, I can't say enough about it. It was fantastic.
Disneyland's great for somebody that's kind of go by the seat of their pants. Go ahead, Scott.
No, I love to ask this question because there's so many different options. A, did you stay on site? Or if not, B, which good neighbor hotel did you stay at? I always like learning because there's so many different hotel options in that area.
Yeah. So this time we went like 18 years ago and stayed off site, and that worked out great that time. But this was our kids' first visit. So we did stay on site at the Disneyland Hotel.
Nice.
And
that's my place.
Just the history there was awesome. It was, we didn't take enough time exploring it, which is something we realized we never do. We always like, oh, we checked the resort out. We did eat there at the Palm Breeze bar, which was, really good. It was nice, calm atmosphere and everything our first night. But I mean, it was, like Mike said before, it was like a 10-minute walk to and from the parks. And 2 of our 3 days, we actually went back for like an hour and a half rest so that we could actually make it from park open to park close. Because that 7:30 start time to 9 p.m. close time. And for us, it was pretty warm. It was only like mid 70s, but up here, it's like been mid 50s as a high. So it was a little much for us. And the rest let us actually get to the end of the day and not have a problem. And our last day, we actually made it till closing at midnight. So
nice job.
Long days, good miles.
And that's 3 a.m. back home. So nice work.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, it was funny. I sent a message to a friend, not thinking about the time, and they responded immediately. And I was just like, oh shoot, I'm sorry I woke you up. And they're actually running Springtime Surprise.
Oh,
so they're actually up getting
ready.
They're already up for the next day.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, props to everyone who did that race this weekend. You know, it was awesome seeing all those pictures and all that in the Lizards group. So
awesome.
You sent me some pictures along the way. The one thing I didn't see that because I know you started in San Diego, Scotty G would have had the alternate Padres jersey on, so at least you didn't.
I should have dressed for the occasion. Love me some San Diego.
He does love. I told you he loves some San Diego. I told John that, but yeah, it's one of those things. But I'm so glad you had fun because it is. What real quick? I'm always curious. What tower did you get at the Disneyland Hotel?
We got the Fantasy Tower. Going to Dumbo on it.
That's what I have every time. The one with like the main tower, basically.
Yep. Yeah. I got that last time, but I've also had Frontier. Yeah.
And we technically had a theme park view. You could just see the top of Matterhorn.
Good deal. Nice. But even if you get the standard view, it most of the towers, like you see mountains. Like, and you know what? I'm fine seeing mountains. Like, because I'm from Missouri, like I never get to see mountains. Like, and the one time I was out there was snow on the top of them in March. It was so cool. I don't know. I love it out there.
We saw that when we were driving one of the further mountains. It was snow capped, and we're just like, what? Okay, that works.
Right. It's shocking when you're not used to seeing that kind of topography. It's a cool thing. Yeah. It's so cool. Well, hey, thanks for the trip report. I'm so glad you guys had a great time because I could feel the excitement, and you added when you posted the pictures over in the clubhouse on the Discord. It just everybody got excited, just to see the updates, but also excited for you and the family. So thanks for taking the time to do that.
Yeah, thank you guys. Though your podcast definitely helped us in so much of that planning. We appreciate that.
Hey, we're all here to do this together. That's what makes us all worth it.
Awesome. Well, be well, guys. Appreciate it.
We'll see you soon. We'll see you on a trip soon, John.
Absolutely. Take care. Have a good week.
Take care.
All right.
You too.
He reached out to me, I think, before the trip too, asking about San Diego a little bit. Like good guy. I like John.
And Carolyn says, San Diego says, thank you, Scott.
Yes.
Anytime. You and
I should book a
Rob
trip.
Burgundy.
There we go.
San Diego.
You got to get out to San Diego sometime too. I know you've done a little exploring because you went to like Dodger Stadium and all that too. But I even got to do more exploring. We talk about this in our Starbucks mug collection, our next vlog that we're doing. How like California is such a huge state, and I've really only spent time like in Southern California. I really want to explore more of that beautiful state. So
I do. I know. I always wanted to go up and see Petaluma because that's where my favorite podcast gets broadcasted from, is up in Petaluma. But today was their last day they're ever doing a live in studio audience because
really,
they have this huge like expensive studio, and they've realized that they could probably do the same show out of a kid's bedroom like we do, and they spend millions of dollars on a studio for the last 10 years. So
that's funny.
Get rid of their studio, which they should have done forever ago.
Yeah.
But so actually speaking of that, somebody was asking about Long Beach Airport at the beginning of the show, tips there for flying in. And, I flew in one time, and I will say, actually, we get this question a lot. So when you're flying to Anaheim, and actually, I had somebody cancel a vacation today because they couldn't find good airfare to Disneyland.
Oh, wow.
And that was kind of a shame. And so the thing is, here's what you got to think of. I think as somebody that's going to Disneyland, it's a little bit different than Orlando. Orlando, you're always looking at MCO. Every once in a while, somebody will fly into Sanford, and this was more of an issue back in the Magical Express days because Magical Express didn't service Sanford, and Sanford's a long way from.
I like Tampa too as an alternate one too.
That's a long way, but
it's a long way.
It's an option. It's thinking outside the box, just like driving to Indianapolis, but it's thinking outside the box. It can save you money. But when you go to Anaheim or when you go to Disneyland Anaheim, you can think of it there's like 5 airports you could go into. You don't have to think LAX. I think a lot of people have that strategy of it has to be LAX, and it doesn't, because you can look at John Wayne, you can look at Long Beach. What do you know what the other ones are offhand? There's Orange County, I think, is another one.
That's John Wayne is Orange County. Yeah.
I always look at Long Beach, John Wayne, and LAX. That's where I start those 3. But I know
not to be like, hey, it's a long ways, but like I love finding the San Diego and spending a couple nights there too. But you got to rent a car and all that, and not everyone wants to do that, obviously. But that's a shame because there's a lot of flight out, and it could be just like where they're coming from, right? Too, right? Maybe there's just not really good flight options, but yeah, I mean, there's tons of flight going to LAX. Not my favorite airport, but you should be able to find something at an okay price to LAX. I mean, Long Beach, like the way you explained it, Jared and Stacy explained it too. Like that sounds really cool because, like, don't you like get off on the tarmac or something?
100%, dude. Okay, that's it. In Long Beach, it's a small airport. I mean, it is small, so they just roll the steps up to the plane, take the hatch off, and you walk down the steps.
I feel like the president of the United States getting off that plane.
Yeah, I know. You feel like you're the president, like you need to wave, and you get off right there. You walk in, and it's super small. There's like one restaurant, and you get your bags outside, like the bag carousels outside, like open air.
Ontario, that's the other. Yeah,
Ontario.
We got some people in the chat. Yeah, I knew there was another one around there. Yeah.
Thank you to Donna and Andrew in the chat. And but so it's for the novelty of it. If you can fly into Long Beach one time, it's like going back in time. Like I'm going to do it again. Just it's actually closer to Anaheim than LAX, and it's a lot less hassle. It's way less hassle. But I did go into LAX just because I've seen it on The Amazing Race so many times. I just wanted to be there because like I wanted to see it because I've seen it on TV so many times. But I've gone into LAX now like 3 times, and so I'm over it. So I will definitely be a Long Beach guy from if I get the chance, but I'll go wherever the flights are cheap.
I mean, just flight times, pricing, like, and that's what's great about the Anaheim area, as you're like pointing out to, like, there's a lot of different options where MCO, like Orlando, you're kind of tied to just that one option, unless if you want to rent a car and go for a longer drive. But
all right, we have one last call for the day. Hey, who's joining us next?
Hey, Mike, it's me, Mike from California.
We have all kinds of Mikes tonight. We had a Mike American Idol winner. We have a Mike podcaster. And now we have Mike, the rep of the show caller. What's up, Mike?
Hey, I always listen to your show, like when I'm walking my dog. And I don't know, I've been thinking, I always hear you guys talking about I get motion sickness on rides. Isn't that true?
That's a Mike thing for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a Scott thing, but the Star Tours and Guardians gets me.
Okay, well, I have a tip for you guys because my wife would get really sick, like you said, on Star Tours and some of the other things. But what we started doing probably about 7 years ago is we would wear these patches, seasick patches, when we'd go on cruises. So I told her, hey, why not use those when we go to the park? So we tried it and it worked. Now she can go on Star Tours, and we even gave it the ultimate test. We when we went to Disney World, like they last 3 days. They're like the size of a dime. It goes behind your ear. They last 3 days. And so when we go to Disney World, we go like 2 weeks. So she just continuously wears it the whole time, and she never has a problem. And we did the ultimate test. She went on Mission Space, Orange Mission. Yes.
That's a good test.
When she came off, she said, she goes, I feel like the sickness is coming on a little bit. And we sat down, and she said she goes, it went away just like that.
So for science, you made her go through the ringer by going on Mission Space Orange.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it worked so well. Because we were Disneyland annual pass holders, so we'd go there all the time, and we discovered it worked on everything there. So then I told her, yeah, when we go to Disney World, we're gonna try Mission Space and see how good it works.
God bless your wife for being the air quotes guinea pig for scientific purposes, just to see how we're going to test this. We're going to take it to the limit and see what happens. I have seen those on cruises. You can see the people wearing those behind their ears, but I don't know why I never thought about that for a theme park.
It's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. You go on a cruise and people are always wearing them, and they work great for seasickness. So that's what I thought about that. I thought it's the same thing. I mean,
it is,
right?
I mean, it's quick. Yeah, because I usually, knock on wood, I should not even say that. I'm not even saying it out loud. Well, I will, but for Micah.
You basically have already said it.
Whatever. I know, basically, I've already said it. This fake wood that I got from Amazon with this desk I ordered online like 5 years ago. Knock. But I mean, ships don't bother me. Like on cruises, I'm usually fine. So I don't usually use anything like that. Now I'm going to be ordering Dramamine right after this podcast for my cruise in about 3 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I am going to try that next time, because the thing is, like, and I've said this on the show, Guardians is an amazing ride. I'm not saying it isn't. It's cool. I've been on it twice. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
I'd like to enjoy
once
it.
you wear the patch, you'll be able to do Guardians. You'll be able to do Flight of Passage. And you'll just be like, yeah, this is great. I mean,
I'll be a man.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
The thing is, though, that you have to get it from your doctor. It's easy. I just call my doctor. I say, I'm going on a trip. I need some seasick patches, and he just prescribes them, no problem.
My doctor will be like, between your migraine medicine and your seasickness medicine, man, you need to get tougher. That's what my doctor's going to tell me. Like, you got issues.
Yeah, see, I don't have any seasick or motion sickness problems. It's just my wife. So.
Yeah, that's a good tip, Mike. I appreciate you thinking of us.
Yeah, the thing too, Dramamine usually makes you sleepy.
Yeah,
these don't make you sleepy.
That's better. Yeah, Dramamine does. They have even the non-drowsy makes you tired. That's false advertising.
Don't want to be tired on the cruise ship, Mike. You gotta go to the club late at night.
I'll go to the club, my tequila and margarita tasting. Yes,
that will make you sleepy.
That will make me sleepy.
I've witnessed it.
7-night cruise, man. It'll be fine.
Hey, you guys remember back when the castle projections was a separate show from the fireworks? You remember that?
Yep. The magic memories in you.
Yeah, because I remember that, and I remember one part I really liked was how they would make the castle look like it was getting old. And then Wreck-It Ralph used to climb up to the top. You remember that? And he would start smashing the castle, and the bricks would start falling down. I used to think that was so cool.
That was fun. Yeah.
That's the very beginning of the projection mapping technology, when it would be a rocket. And
yes.
I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, I'm not kidding. The first time I saw it, I was like, that thing just came off the ground. I almost died. I was like, that castle just came off the ground.
I love seeing Wreck, because he's like, I'm going to wreck it. And it was so cool. Yeah, I love that.
That was cool.
Yeah, it looked like he was actually smashing the castle. It was like really cool, you know. I used to love that.
Well, for a brief moment too, like you mentioned, that pre-show kind of thing, they actually used to take pictures every day of the guests in the park. And like your picture could be on the castle that night. You remember that?
No, I never saw that.
Yeah. So like right above the like where you walk through the castle, they had like a kind of like a square, like, you know, and they'd do all the decorations on the castle with projections. But it was called that was the Magic Memories in You. And that was the you part, is that they took candid shots, kind of like from PhotoPass, all day long, but supposedly they were from that day. Now, do I know if they were from that day? Who knows? Because I never got up there. But like you would watch intently,
walk by and look and go,
right? I mean, I guess you would know if feel like you saw your picture that day. But like I never made it, so who knows? I could have been from a week ago because I was never in it. You know, wasn't like looking around like, hey, there's that guy, because you don't know.
I remember the studios did something like that where. Because you did get down there, because
they
would take you from social media.
That was during Frozen. Yes, we did make the one at the studios, and that was that day. Yeah, because it was us eating at 50's prime time that afternoon.
And they would just post it from like or Twitter or whatever.
Instagram. Yeah, but that night it was always cool because it was supposed to be like special moments from that day in the park, which I thought was super cool. It was like when, you know, like when Twitter and Instagram were like first, like in their infancy.
Mm-hmm. It was cool.
It was neat.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that tip, Mike.
Front of Epcot, you remember that? They had all the people's faces.
Well, you were there when they turned Epcot into Mike Wazowski's eye.
I was. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. And Sully came on space. That was the first time they did Spaceship Earth projecting, which I was like, holy cow. Like, imagine the things they can do with this. And now they're doing some really cool stuff with that since the 50th.
Yep.
But like, I remember, like, can they turn that into the Death Star? Which I think they ended up doing that at one point too. Like, it's cool when they like project that.
That was good. Good stuff. Well, hey, Mike, thanks for the call. We're at the top of the hour, so we got to wrap. But hey, you have a good week, and don't be a stranger.
All right, great. Thanks,
all right,
Mike.
Take care, buddy.
See you later.
Take care. Mike, do you remember one of our marathons we finished, and then we rode Mission Space afterwards? It wasn't orange, but because it was like they redid it. Like it was like after the refurbishment, and you wanted to see it. So we finished the marathon and we went in with.
Did we?
I don't yes. Oh, I remember very well because I was like, "Are you insane?"
I think I do remember now because I was like, "Is this a good idea?" I think.
Yeah, and we were like pretty sweaty in there, I will say. So, but that was kind of funny. Just we wrapped up the marathon, did our photo pics, and then we rode Mission Space. And can't say I've ever done that another time.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because now it's kind of like the green side's almost like a Soarin' experience, but. Yes. Not for claustrophobic people.
Yeah.
It's still super tight, but
I've only done the orange once. And like, I know Emily wants to do the orange all the time. I'm like, nope. I'll do green with you, but I was one and done with orange.
I can do the orange. Like, that's what's weird is I can actually do it, but I don't enjoy it. Like,
I felt so weird after it. Like, I don't know. I can't explain it.
Because it's centrifugal force is what gives you that G-force feel. Like we had the same experience when I worked at Space Camp, and I had to do that like 4 or 5 times a week. Yeah, but we called it the gravitron, and so I'd have to do it with my class that I taught. And so since I was the instructor, like I didn't want to be the big wimp, right, and not do it with my class, so I'd do it and have to act like I was tough and like not, like look scared. So I'd be stuck to the wall because it was like a carnival gravitron. It wasn't even cool like Mission Space, like they could see you. So I'm in my flight suit and I'm stuck to the wall trying to look tough. And I'm just like, please don't throw up. Because like I probably had like, because every meal I had either hash browns or tater tots down there. It was the South. You ate fried foods every meal. And so, anyway, wait till you listen to the beer garden story in tomorrow's show. It's awesome. Sorry to Matthew in the chat. I don't know why it was giving you that message because the phone lines were working, but maybe it's because we had another caller on the line. But try next week, please, and we'll get you in there. But that's going to do it, Scott. Fun show tonight. Tons of live folks tuned in all over the.
We're well over 100 tonight. That's pretty awesome to see on a Sunday night.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I like that. A lot of fun. Good calls too, and we had a superstar. We had an American Idol joining us.
Yes, we did.
You got bought dinner. This
guy had a choir from Virginia buy him dinner.
It's so epic. I would love that. And I hope, I hope there's like video of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only did that happen, I hope like he got some kind of like, there has to be like video of this happening so he can share it with like his grandkids someday.
Yeah, that'd be. I had to imagine. I mean, because it wouldn't have been like the top quality. Like if you even had like an iPhone or some kind of smartphone back then, you could have taken video. It might not have been the best quality, but it's like someone's got to have something, right? I would hope.
Yes. Yeah, that's the experience, right? That just tops it off. Like he got the golden ticket. He got somebody signing autographs at the end. I mean, that's pretty sweet. Anyway, it's fun to look back on these things. I mean, that's what the show's about. It's about having fun. So, hey, don't forget, we're going to have our great shows this week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Awesome Trip Report with Simon from the UK coming your way in just an hour here on the feed. Then Wednesday, listener questions. This week, it's all Mike and Scott. So we're going to be answering your questions. So if you have a question for us, still time to drop that in. Mike at beourguestpodcast.com via email or join us on Monday at 5:30 Eastern. We'll be recording those shows. Friday show is going to be Scott's Trip Report, Coronado Springs. What else, Scott? A couple highlights from the show on Friday. Anything else we're going to be talking about?
We'll talk about some great dining. Hoop-de-doo. I want to talk about that a little bit. Just enjoying spring break, flower and garden. Hello. That's like the best festival there is at Epcot, in my opinion. So we'll talk about, a lot of Coronado Springs and stuff too. Just a great spring break trip. I'm excited to talk about it.
Good deal. And the conversation, and Scott's always over there, and I appreciate that so much. It's so fun now. Over the past month, we've had the Be Our Guest Podcast Clubhouse because it's the podcast is great because we get to have these shows out 3, 4, 5 times a week, but this is all the time. We get to interact constantly and literally with folks from all around the world. We had a new member sign up yesterday from Scotland. Mohawk, I think was his name or something like that. It was all of a sudden he's there. Julie from Scotland's over there. We got just friends from all over the place. We talk Disney, but we talk life too. And we talk about our favorite, places to get ice cream, but we also talk about ADRs. And we talk about resorts and Disneyland and international trips. Like Scott's planning to go to Disneyland Paris. People are giving him tips for that because he's never been there. We're talking about excitement for upcoming cruises and just all kinds of fun. So coming over to the clubhouse, it's beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. We have a great time over there. We're waiting to see you today. Show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. You're headed to a Disney destination. We'd love to help you out. No cost to you. and we'll get you some good booking bonuses as well. So check out all the details right now over at themagicforless.com. If you're going to buy stuff online, you're using Amazon, you can support the show real easy. Just click through our link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all this possible. I really appreciate it. Just $5 a month, and it supports everything we do with the video, the storing of the shows, the hosting costs, all that stuff. It really does go to all that stuff goes to there. So if you could help us out, that really helps. $5 a month. You get the bonus show as well. It's called Mike in the Midwest. I recorded this week's show this afternoon. This week we talked about back off the Autopia. Don't be so mean to the Autopia. There's a reason why the Autopia out of Disneyland, it was cutting edge back in the day. And it's still pretty awesome. Some people are negative about the Autopia in the Tomorrowland Speedway. You need to kind of rethink that for a second and give it some love. It's there for a reason. So I talk about that on Mike in the Midwest this week. And I talk about how cool iPads and technology is. So jump in on that. Patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give Scott a follow on social media at Epscott, EPSCOT, because you can check out everything he's doing. And he's doing some cool stuff coming out. So check that out. Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. I'm in the same places at Be Our Guest Mike. And we'll do this all again next Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We'll be taking your calls. And man, we had such great audience tonight. Let's do it again next Sunday night, shall we? Let's do it. All right. So for Scott, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great Sunday night or a great Thursday here on the feed. You guys have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Good stuff.
I forgot to tease Keys to the Kingdom. Hello. Of course, I'm going to talk about that too.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. No, I started like getting work messages when you were like saying that. I was like, oh, what did Mike just say? So sorry about that. But
so did you have to do anything with work?
No, I didn't actually, but it looks like I was like on, paying attention. So that's good, at least, so everyone knows. Like I was logged in, which I was paying attention. And now my boss's kid is sick. That's what all these messages are now. So dang, so many people getting sick.
Do you go in on Mondays or do you work from home on Mondays?
I'm in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the office. But whatever. I should be home like 4:30, 4:45 tomorrow. So whenever you want to
hang on. Kevin's got it exactly right. We also cite airplane movie quotes on the Discord. That was the best thing we ever did last week was all the airplane movie quotes. Because I was laughing.
I was kind of late to that. And I was like, I'm not even going to
I was laughing so hard. I was like, stop. Because I was trying to get work done. And people would just put one more. And
I would just say that movie was PG when it came out. There's no way it should have been PG.
I was like a little kid, and my parents let me watch that movie. I can't
believe
my parents let me watch that movie.
I mean, I know this is on the feed. I know we're still kind of live, but there's nudity. There's nudity in that. Like, why the heck is there nudity in a PG movie?
There's all kinds of stuff that's inappropriate in that movie. Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that are terrible in that movie.
Like, how did I watch that movie?
Our parents let us watch it, and my parents were strict.
Actually, I don't think my parents let me watch it. I was just like, oh, this movie's PG. I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Like, I had an older brother too, so he would let me watch things.
Right. It was crazy. Like looking back, because I know I watched that movie, and that movie, it's so wrong. That movie is so wrong. But yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway. Like I'm sure the Red is thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
Started
off someone. It was someone said they were. It all started because someone said they were they had a guest for their restaurant or something that was going to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then that started the whole chain.
And I didn't even get the initial thing. Like I think of my Kareem Abdul-Jabbar restaurant or something. And then Roger. I was like, oh God, here it comes. Over under. I was like, what's the vector, Victor?
Yeah.
And then 45 minutes later, it was all animated gifs.
I mean, the whole movie was quoted basically.
The whole movie.
I never saw a Saturday Night Fever parody gif throw.
No, that's true. We had Barbara Billingsley.
Yes. Oh my.
Anyway, all right. I'm
gonna go grab some dinner. So
all right, tell the girls I said hey, and
you do the same for me.
The next appearance on the vlog.
Okay. All right. We'll see you.
See you tomorrow.
Bye everybody.
Bye.